So let's talk about why it's important for school boards. How many of you have heard of the group Moms for Liberty? Yeah, it's a dangerous group, to be quite honest. They kind of came out of nowhere, but they have gained national prominence with presence in every state. They have national conventions now. They're a big deal. This is who they claim they are. They say on their website, they are dedicated to fighting for the survival of America by unifying, educating, and empowering parents to defend their parental rights at all levels of government. First of all, I get very nervous when I see phrases like the survival of America. Listen, I equate that phrase with invasions of our Capitol building. I equate that phrase with erosion of voting rights and gerrymandering. I equate that phrase with pandemics that kill over 1 million people. I don't equate that phrase with parental rights in school, and I put parental rights in quotes. Here's who Moms for Liberty actually is. They are an ultra-conservative parents who were never involved in their kids' schools until they felt empowered by recent turn of events at the national level to harass school board members with bigoted and racist views in the name of parental rights. So parental rights is just a code for, hey, we want our kids to be allowed to discriminate against minorities and those of different sexual orientations, and they go and they literally just dominate school board meetings and harass the school board members with threats and so on. Let me give you a case study. This is a Moms for Liberty group out of Tennessee. Last year, a local chapter filed a formal complaint about a civil rights module that was being taught in the public schools. They targeted several dozen books, including a book written by Ruby Bridges about her life, and the I Have a Dream speech from Martin Luther King Jr. They marked them for elimination at this Tennessee school board meeting. They put up a big rallying cry, canvas. They put the full court press. And of course, the state rejected those claims. At least there were some sane people. But you can see what they're after. They're not after any type of parental rights. They're going specifically after anything involving race. This complaint was rejected. Here are some of the techniques that have been used throughout the months in 2022. They show up to school boards. They get on the speaking agenda and they launch tirades about critical race theory, pedophiles, and groomers. Those are the key phrases you hear. You can go on YouTube and find videos of these at school boards. They just start screaming and they have to be escorted out, and the school board members are under threats of violence. They have offered monetary rewards to turn in teachers who are suspected of teaching critical race theory in the classroom. They have offered $500 rewards, posted it out there. They have actively recruited and promoted like-minded candidates to school boards. So they're not just showing up and causing trouble, they're getting on to these decision-making bodies. Let me share with you another case study. Right here in South Carolina, Berkeley County. Have you heard of this? 2022 election, the school board got essentially replaced with key members from Moms for Liberty supported candidates. They won the school board. They took it over. Their very first meeting, the first line item on the agenda in that first meeting, out of nowhere, was to replace the chair of the board, who then dictates what occurs afterwards. Then they immediately terminated the superintendent of schools and the legal counsel for the school board, a young lady who had served for years. You notice anything about those two members? Any question why? They did not offer a reason at that time for dismissal. They offered none. They didn't give any. They went back about a couple weeks later and posted in the paper a public statement saying they were released for performance of the schools, transparency, et cetera, but now they are engaged in a legal battle. They have been sued because by contract, this gentleman is owed his salary because there's only very specific reasons why he could be terminated, and they listed none of them. Jim.
It also replaced the superintendent with a new one who didn't know he was going to be until that meeting, although he had to. They had police there. They had the sheriff and the police were surrounding the area, and they were looking for trouble. They suspected trouble, and they were trying to get anything that they could, any notoriety, and they got it. If they held a coup, it's exactly what it was. It was a coup.
Indeed, this is what they call it. This was a school board coup.
Three candidates for the school board that had been principals, well-liked principals in that district, and they slaughtered them with their own candidates, and came up with what.
Now, this was a superintendent who was actually beloved in the district. The teachers were upset.
He was knocked out, and the next person was brought in with no prior talk, and he had been the number 3 candidate before the superintendent.
That's right.
And he was brought in and hired immediately, right there. And there was no, the whole thing was a coup.
Where is Berkeley? I mean, what town is what?
Monk's Corner.
Yeah, Monk's Corner is the big town in Berkeley County.
It's like Monk's Corner is now like a bedroom community of Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, the founder of Moms for Liberty is from Florida. Surprise. And she was somebody who lost her school board seat in a highly contested race. And when she was knocked out, I guess she got real hurt and formed Moms for Liberty, and it took off like crazy because it gave all of these MAGA-intensive parents with nothing to do a voice and a platform to cause trouble. So that's Berkeley County. Do we have a problem in Greenwood? Yes, we do. Watch out, Greenwood County. There is a Moms for Liberty Legislative Day occurring here in late January in Columbia. And do you see who's featured as speakers? Representative John McCravey is speaking at a Moms for Liberty conference. Tony Foster, who's a pastor here in Greenwood County and good friend of the McCraveys, he's ultra-conservative, he's speaking as well. Greenwood County has a very high presence at this Moms for Liberty. So, the only way we can avoid having what happened in Berkeley County happen here in Greenwood is by getting on the school boards. You don't think that Moms for Liberty is going to organize and ensure that they win seats in Ware Shoals in '96, then you're being delusional. Back at the Carnell Drummond Mays banquet, I said that they were coming after Ann Parks. That was a quote that I made in my speech. And what happened? She lost by 600 votes. I'm telling you now, they are coming after school boards in South Carolina. Greenwood County is on the target list. In GWD 50, I think we're lucky to have a somewhat rational school board. We have Tammy Brownlee just took over Johanna Bishop's seat. She won in 2022. She was somebody we recruited. We cold called people from the voter data list and said, would you be interested in running for school board? I think we called some of you and said, would you be interested? She said, you know what? I think that's a good idea. I'll give it a shot. Now, we didn't really hear much from her. She ended up winning, and we know that that seat is secure. There are going to be other seats at these school boards that are going to be up, so it is very important that we show up, recruit, and be active as we were for President Barack Obama. We need to have that same level of enthusiasm and energy at the school board. Otherwise, you'll see what happened in Berkeley County happen here in Greenwood County.